Joining us right now, Congressman Tom Tancredo, fresh off the brawl last night. Congressman, you must have been too hyped up to even rest after that argument.
I'm a little hoarse this morning.
Yeah, who said what to whom? We couldn't make out because we were asleep when you were on. Forgive us, but we ran the tape this morning. We couldn't make out what you were saying and what Geraldo was saying.
Let me tell you, that's the worst TV in the world, and I know it. And it is the most frustrating thing, as you guys know. You run shows, but nobody was really running that one. I think that was one of the problems. And
it's not easy to silence you and Geraldo at the same time.
I guess that
you need a big gavel to do that.
Maybe we also should be all in the same room or something. I don't know, but it's lousy television, if you ask me.
All right. Have you been encouraging people in my home state to file frivolous litigation to get the courts to force the mayor of Newark to change a policy that he has the right to make? And I'm your friend that I'm asking you that.
Oh, man. I am certainly not looking for frivolous lawsuits, but I do believe that there is a certain degree of culpability when a city has the opportunity to keep somebody off the streets, does not do so, and that person goes ahead and commits a very serious crime. I think the victims' families, at least, and certainly the victims themselves, if they're still alive, have some right of action. Now, I've talked with other lawyers, I have to tell you, Judge, that tell me that there is that possibility because of the federal law. There is a federal law, 1337, and it specifically prohibits the sanctuary city process. And if you can, I mean, I'm not going to say it's easy, but if you can show that their sanctuary city policy led to this, to letting this guy out on the street, which that certainly did, there is negligence on the part of the city, and you bet I think their victims should sue.
Let me ask you about one of your opponents. Will you let Rudy Giuliani get away with the "that was then, this is now" argument? As mayor, it was right for me to have a sanctuary city in New York. As president, I don't know I'd do it. Doesn't he have to justify now what he did then? And isn't what he did then the best window into what he'll do in the future if he's ever elected?
Absolutely. It is for all of us, is it not? Every single person standing on that stage promising you whatever. The only way you're going to really know whether or not they intend to deliver on that promise is to determine what they did in the past. And thank goodness somebody as wealthy as Romney has the money to keep Giuliani honest.
Right, but do you think that Mitt Romney is vulnerable because he did not force or put pressure on any of his sanctuary cities in his state to reform?
Yes, I do. Absolutely. It's just that you have these two bulls fighting it out over an issue I love. You know what I mean? And I love to have them fighting each other on it.
I want you to turn around in the next debate and point to Rudy Giuliani and say, you ran the biggest sanctuary city in American history.
Leave him alone. It happens.
I'll do it.
All right.
And I mean, at least I'll try to get the chance to do it. That's the other thing. You know, it was hard last night with Geraldo. It's even harder on these debates, even though nobody's screaming. The fact is, you stand there like a bookend.
Well, we're going to whisper something to Brett Hume, who I believe is moderating the next debate you guys are participating in about 2 weeks, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Tom Tancredo, Republican candidate for president. Always a pleasure. And you're always welcome here. Good luck in the next debate. Come back and visit us.
All righty.
Troy, you're on Brian and the Judge.
Well, Brian, first off, don't take any more days off, because when you take off, it's like listening to Air America Light.
Air America Light. Do you ever hear anybody in Air America defending the Constitution or defending the war on terror?
No, the problem is, I don't think he's talking about you, Judge.
Oh, he's talking about replacing you. All right. Okay. All right. We won't tell you. We won't tell you when we're going to take our vacations.
Yes. Barbaric. But we are not a partisan show. We talk about stuff, but you're not looking at a Democrat and a Republican. You're looking at people looking at a fresh look at all the major issues.
And when we disagree, even though we work together many hours a day, 5 days a week here and on the Fox News channel, it's a genuine disagreement. It's not a Republican versus a Democrat or a liberal versus a conservative. It's two guys that work together who disagree on things.
Now, Troy, we'll hope to get Rudy back on a little while. We got to convince the judge to get aboard and at least give him a shot.
Judge, why is it every single day, somewhere in the 3 hours that I listen to you, you get it digging at Rudy?
Because Rudy is not a Republican, and he wants the Republican nomination. He doesn't stand for anything the Republicans stand for, and he's trying to pull the wool over Republicans' eyes. You want me to go through the specifics about gun rights and abortion and gay rights and sanctuary cities? He should be running in the other party.
out of all the Republican nominees, he is the only one that will beat Hillary Clinton.
I think Fred Thompson will beat Hillary Clinton as well. Though I will tell you, the Thompson we watched the other day was a little dull. I think he didn't have a good night's sleep.
The worst. The scary worst. Now, Bill Frist is a qualified doctor, became a majority leader, and is a big supporter of Fred Thompson.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, Thompson's the guy. He's got the experience, and also he's got the charisma that Frist lacks.
Yeah.
Frist looked like Dale Carnegie compared to Fred Thompson.
Yeah. Sandra in North Carolina, did you listen to Geraldo Rivera and Congressman Tancredo last night?
I wish people, when they're having a debate about immigration, they would not put Geraldo on there because he just speaks over. I could not hear anything that Tancredo tried to make a point about.
He was upset. He even sounded upset today, Tancredo.
He did sound upset, but why blame Geraldo? I mean, they both were shouting over the other one.
Well, I think it was more Geraldo than Tancredo. He got his soundbite in, but every time Tancredo would try to say anything, Geraldo would just blow up at him.
Jay in South Texas.
Did you say you did not feel that the Fed should be involved with regards to giving monies for highways and stuff like that if they're a sanctuary city?
Yes, I do. I think that should be a local decision, and I'll tell you why. Cory Booker, the mayor of Newark, who's a savior for the city and has been a friend of mine for 10 years now, is confronted with local difficulties that the feds couldn't possibly understand. If he has a city of more than half immigrants, if the cops start asking people if they're legal or illegal, there's going to be riots in the streets. I think that's a decision the locals have to make and live with and deal. I don't think it should be made on the federal government. Now, you listen to the show. You know my bias is in favor of the locals. I think the federal government does far too many things and intrudes itself in far too many areas that are not sanctioned by the Constitution.
Powered by the worldwide resources of Fox News. Fox News. Brian and the Judge on Fox News Talk.